designed to enhance the perceived safety of residents by utilizing retired police officers with expertise and experience. One officer will be assigned to each of the police security centers under the Busan Metropolitan Police Agency for the next 6 months.
부산시는 오는 6월부터 전국 최초로 장애인 전용 시티 투어 버스인 나래버스를 운행합니다. 장애인의 관광 이동권 보장과 장애 친화 도시 실현을 위한 것으로 일정 수 이상 단체 예약을 받아 매주 화요일과 수요일 2차례 운행합니다. 경로는 부산역을 출발해 해운대와 광안리 등 시내 주요 관광 노선을 운행할 예정입니다.
Starting from June, Busan will operate the first city tour bus, Narebus, exclusively for people with disabilities in South Korea. Narebus will operate twice a week on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, accepting group reservations of a certain number or more. It will depart from Busan Station and travel along major tourist routes such as Haeundae and Gwanghwaneoli within the city.
해운대 해수욕장과 송정 해수욕장이 오는 6월 1일 임시 개장에 들어갑니다. 해운대구는 코로나 일상 회복에 따라 방문객이 급증할 것으로 예상하고 안전한 해수욕장 관리와 다양한 행사를 준비해 다시 찾고 싶은 해수욕장으로 바꿔나갈 방침이라고 밝혔습니다.
Haeundae Beach and Songjang beaches will partially open to the public from June 1st. With a return to normalcy from COVID-19, a surge in beach visitors is expected. Following this, Haeundae District plans to improve the beaches with safety management and various events.
부산 진구에서 또다시 전세 사기 사건이 발생해 경찰이 수사에 나섰습니다. 최근 부산 진구의 한 30여 세대 오피스텔이 모두 경매에 넘어갔으며 집주인은 연락 두절 상태인 것으로 알려졌습니다. 세입자들은 대부분 1억 원대 전세 계약을 맺었으며 피해액만 30억 원대에 이를 것으로 추산됩니다.
Police launched an investigation into another case of home rental or jeonse fraud in Busanjin District. A multi-unit housing for 30 units in Busanjin District has recently been auctioned off while the landlord cannot be reached. Most tenants signed a rental contract in the 100 million won range. The total damage in contract deposits alone is estimated to reach 3 billion won.
부산관광공사는 한국관광공사와 함께 부산 숙박 예약 시 5만 원의 특별 할인 쿠폰을 지급하는 대한민국 숙박 세일 페스타를 실시합니다. 오늘부터 6월 1일까지 1인당 쿠폰 한 장이 발급되며 사용 기한은 7월 14일까지입니다. 7만 원을 초과하는 숙박 상품에만 쿠폰 사용이 가능합니다.
The Busan Tourism Organization announced today that it will jointly hold a festival for domestic accommodation sales with the Korea Tourism Organization. They will provide a special discount coupon of 50,000 won for accommodation reservations in Busan. It will issue one coupon per person from today to June 1st, valid until July 14th. Coupons are only available for accommodations exceeding 70,000 won.
부산시는 부산정보산업진흥원 CJ E&M 웹툰 공모전을 오는 9월 8일까지 개최합니다. 부산에 거주하는 창작자, 부산 경남 만화가연대 소속 창작자 또는 부산 지역 대학생이면 누구나 참여할 수 있으며 프롤로그와 신청서 등을 제출하면 됩니다.
Busan City announced on the 30th that the Busan Information Industry Promotion Agency, CJ E&M Webtoon Contest will be held until September 8th. Any creator residing in Busan, a creator affiliated with the Busan Gyeongnam Cartoonist Association, or a current student at a university in Busan can participate. To participate, applicants can submit a prologue and an application form.
애니메이션과 관련한 체험과 교육, 창업 컨설팅 플랫폼인 애니랑 부산이 오늘 개소식을 갖고 본격 운영에 들어갔습니다. 1층에는 어린이 복합문화공간인 들락날락이 조성돼 어린이를 위한 놀이와 학습 공간 등이 운영될 예정입니다.
Arirang Busan, a platform in Busan that offers various experiences, education, and startup consulting related to animation, opened its doors today. On the first floor, a children's multi-purpose cultural space called 들락날락 has been set up to provide a play and learning space for the children.
끝으로 날씨입니다. 부산지방 내일 아침 최저기온 18도, 낮 최고기온 22도로 예상됩니다. 부산의 현재 기온 19도입니다.
Expect a morning low of 18 degrees Celsius tomorrow with afternoon highs of 22 degrees. Temperatures are currently averaging at 19 degrees Celsius. It's time to wrap up this hour's news. I'm Annie Munn.
홍정화였습니다.
Thank you for joining. You are listening to BAFM 부산영어방송.
your best choice. BEFM 부산영어방송.
9년 전 한국에서의 새로운 출발을 위해 부산을 처음 찾은 프랭크. 부산의 자연과 사람, 부산에서 누리는 모든 것을 사랑하는 그는 부산의 변함없는 한대에 늘 감탄합니다.
I think that Busan people are actually very, very kind and very welcoming. If I seemed a little lost, there was always someone that was there to ask me if I needed help. They're more seriously friendly than it's very serious. I very seriously want to help you.
부산의 한결같은 모습도 늘 감동을 주지만 이제는 부산의 미래를 꿈꾸며 2030년 부산의 새로운 도약을 기대합니다.
Busan people are very proud of their city. They want to share the city with everyone. If we get the World Expo, it'll really put Busan on a global map.
세계 박람회가 어울리는 도시, 미래를 향한 힘찬 도약. 부산에서 출발한 파도는 이미 세계를 향해 뻗어 나가고 있습니다. 2030 부산 세계 박람회. 부산이 시작하고 대한민국이 함께 이뤄갑니다. 이 캠페인은 지역과 함께하는 든든한 동반자 BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Coming up next is Inside Out Busan with Laura McLucky and Minsu Shin. BFM 부산영어방송.
Hello. Welcome back to Inside Out Busan. I say welcome back. I mean, since yesterday. Welcome back.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
because for people tuning in for a second time and more,
Yeah.
it's a welcome back.
Well, also because yesterday was a holiday, right?
Yes.
But anyway, I want to talk about something not so fun. Household debt. It's growing again due to the recent drop in market interest rates, contradicting high base rates.
Yeah, so shocking news. South Korea is the only country where the household debt exceeds the GDP. 아주 위험한 신호죠.
Personal loans, riskiest segment of household debt. And actually, recently, content, Squid Game, for example, laid bare South Korea's real-life personal debt crisis.
Yeah, people willing to lay their life on the line,
Yeah.
right? So the most common forms of debt are loans, which include mortgages, auto loans, as well as credit card debt. So there's a saying, debt is much like being drunk. The hangover comes the day after.
Oh, no. I don't want that kind of hangover.
Yeah, that's the worst. I mean, all hangovers are bad. Hangovers
Yeah.
are bad, but that's the worst kind, I guess, right?
Do you have debt?
Yeah. I mean,
That's a personal question. But...
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat as a lot of people. We bought a house not too long ago at an okay time. So we're in debt for the next, I don't know,
50,000 years.
for a very long time.
Well, let's get into that a little bit more. Welcome to Inside Out Busan, everybody. It is Tuesday. It's the 30th of May. I can't believe in 2 days' time it's going to be June.
Yeah,
Halfway through the year.
tomorrow's the last day of the month of May.
I've accomplished nothing.
Well, blame it on the month.
Thing. I'm Laura McLucky.
And I'm Minsu Shin, who's,
That
Accomplished.
girl.
some, not much.
I've accomplished some stuff.
All right, so we're talking about, starting off with a topic that I think, is not usually a subject of conversation that
Yeah.
you bring up with your friends
Yeah, we don't talk
And-
about money.
and family,
Yeah.
right? Money, but not just oh, money, I want more of it. Money
I do
is
want more of it.
the amount, that we owe to other people, right? Korea's high level of household debt has been regarded as a major risk when it comes to our economy. And this is going to be a risk for a considerable time.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, household debt rose even more thanks to accommodative macro policies. Now, what are some, fields, aspects where people usually find themselves in debt?
Well, it's things like, I mean, just life. It doesn't even need to be like an expensive purchase. It can be life events like getting married, having children, buying a new house. Others might stem from things like poor money management because a lot of us, most of us actually, never got taught how to manage money and manage finances. We got taught how to do math, but we never got taught like the practical implications of math.
Yeah.
You know?
We got taught how to make the money,
Yeah.
not
Also,
how to manage the money.
how to manage and how to prioritize, timely payments, etc., etc.
Yeah. Well, here in Korea, mortgages account for the largest amount of household debt, while personal loans are most sensitive to the rate changes because there's always rate changes, right?
Yeah.
More than half of university students, they have to end up leaving school, and I would say a good amount of the time before they graduate because, the debt that they get into with school loans and just the costs continue to rise year after year.
That's so sad.
It is sad.
I think in Scotland, they made a promise many, many years ago, the Scottish government, that every child has the right to a full education, which includes all the way up to the end of university for free.
Oh.
So if your family can't afford to pay your university fees, you will get government funding to be able to put you through university.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's awesome about, the US, and I feel like the system is available here in Korea, but it's more socially, I don't know why, it's more socially looked down upon. Going to like a community college for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then you would transfer into the college that you want.
Yeah.
And you graduate and you still get the same diploma.
Yeah, why not do it? Also, community college is much more fun than uni.
And you save a whole lot of money.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
But younger generations are also adding to their household debt with something called younger. Younger literally means someone who tries to exploit everything to the very last drop of their soul.
Yeah.
So 영혼까지 끌어올리다.
Yeah.
라는 뜻이고, which means struggle to climb the property ladder and etc.
It's usually, associated with buying a home,
그치.
starting up a business,
그치.
right? So I do hope that the future, not only for, the future of our younger generation, even for our immediate future, there is good news when it comes to things such as, the lifting of burden of household debt.
맞아요.
Yeah. So, folks, I guess until that day,
Smart spending.
smart spending and
Keep your money in your pockets.
hang in there, right?
Yeah.
Well, Laura, day número dos of the new season, nuevo season of BFM, 부산영어방송. So Tuesday, right? We got, I guess, some changes in today's show. You want to fill the listeners in on that?
So there's no more Haley's issue unboxing. Instead, we've got TMI Busan, from Busan News to local events, weekly local updates. Haley's back once more for the new season. So you can hear the voice of a new reporter as well on the mic. And that's about it.
You think she's going to do like a TMI Busan?
Mate, let's make her do it.
We do
Anyway,
want to hear it again, right?
yes, don't forget we are streaming live on YouTube. Go and find us, BEFM or 부산영어방송. And now it's time for Annie with News Bites. Yes, Annie's in the studio. Hello, Annie. How are you?
Hello, I am all right. I'm good.
Hi.
Congratulations.
BEFM
Thank you.
newscaster.
Yeah, first
Be
news
nice, please.
of the season. It was pretty
know.
good.
How was
Liked
it?
Yeah.
For you?
It was thrilling.
Oh.
Thrilling.
Never heard news here at BFM being thrilling.
And it is a skill in itself that I'm working to hone.
Well, listen, everything takes practice. That's
Exactly.
always. That's what it is. What have you got for us today?
Right. So first, I wanted to go over the National Election Commission, or NEC's nepotism investigation. So the National Election Commission officials' nepotism case of preferential hiring of their children has kind of snowballed into a bigger issue. So aside from the already confirmed cases of officials involved, there has been some news of additional preferential hiring rising according to more than 10 officials that are currently involved. So the chief of the election watchdog actually issued an apology today regarding the alleged suspicions.
Okay, all right. So 10 officials involved with nepotism.
More than 10.
More than 10. So what has been done to rectify or show that they are working towards rectifying these issues?
Right. So their actions, their reactions are quite the most important part here. And the NEC's chair, No Tae-ak, the head of the current nepotism investigation, actually opened an emergency committee meeting to discuss the recent preferential hiring suspicions as well as to figure out a reformation plan. And the details will be released to the public tomorrow, so we do have to sit tight for that. Also, civic groups have already filed a complaint with the investigative agencies over such allegations of hiring the children of Secretary General Park Chan-jin as well as Vice Secretary General Song Bong-sap. And the People Power Party is also considering filing a complaint or maybe just requesting an investigation.
So here's where the snowball, I guess,
Yeah.
is happening.
It's
a lot of
growing.
complaints and requests for investigations happening one after another. Yeah, nepotism, very evident, in Korean society in general. You see it in like corporations, big
Right.
businesses. It is a little concerning when you do see it in like, elections and like later like politician and government positions,
Well,
right?
I'm glad it's coming to light, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for that. What's next?
Right, a bit of more scandal, shall I say. So 2 lawmakers in the cash envelope scandal have had like an arrest motion. So a motion requesting parliamentary consent for the potential arrests of 2 lawmakers over an election bribery scandal was reported to a plenary session of the National Assembly just today. So prosecutors are seeking arrest warrants for the 2. They are Representatives Yoon Kwan-seok and Lee Sung-man for their alleged involvement in a campaign to distribute cash envelopes, 돈봉투, containing a total of 94 million won to members of the Democratic Party. And this was all in the efforts, of course, to help then candidate Song Young-gil-nim to win ahead of the party's national convention back in May 2021.
Yeah, we've been covering this story quite a lot. It's big controversy. So why is the National Assembly's consent required for this?
Right, why you say? Well, a National Assembly consent is required to arrest them because by law, legislators are immune from arrest while the parliament is in session. And the arrest motion will be put to a vote at a plenary session on June 12th. So we have a bit of time. And in order for the motion to pass, it requires a majority of the assembly members to vote and a majority of those voting to cast their ballots in favor. So the motion actually can be rejected if all Democratic Party members vote against it, as the party holds a majority of 167 seats at the assembly.
So we'll have to see.
It's a
But these are anonymous votes. So, you don't have to 눈치. You don't have to 눈치 봐라, so
Right.
you can see what you think. So I think be interesting to see how this transpires.
Yeah, a scandal indeed. Let's get to our next bit of news.
Right. It was a bit of a busy day in terms of politics. The seizure and search warrant of MBC reporter for Prime Minister Han Duck-soo's information leak
More
has
scandal.
been hitting the headlines. So, following allegations that Prime Minister Han Dong-hun, personal information has been leaked, the police attempted to raid the headquarters of MBC TV earlier today.
Oh, okay.
The raid sparked a 2-hour standoff with unionized reporters, and the Seoul Metropolitan Police searched embassy reporter. He was only surnamed Im's house and car. Apologies, it is Han Dong-hun Nim's. And they collected Im Nim's mobile phone and documents relating to Prime Minister Han. So in addition, investigators were sent to the National Assembly Secretariat's department to check electronic records to find out exactly how the minister's personal information was leaked.
All right. So this does sound pretty serious with the prime minister, right, being involved. What do they plan to do following the seizure of all that evidence?
Right. So the police will analyze the documents and evidence that they have seized and then find out in more detail exactly how the Prime Minister's personal information was leaked. And police suspect the information was actually leaked after being submitted to the National Assembly for Han's confirmation hearing last year. And so they're looking into Im's alleged involvement in the leak. And then in regards to the standoff with the unionized workers, they actually denounced the investigation as oppression of the press.
Yeah, sounds like a big clash between government and media, right? With
Not
this
much resolved yet.
incident.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely keep us updated with this. Seems like it's going to be an ongoing issue that you'll be reporting, and not only here, but every day at 6 p.m. And listeners can tune in to BFM newscaster Annie Moon. Annie, just know that we'll be listening every day here in the studio.
Intently.
Listening to
I'll keep you
every
guys in mind.
consonant, every vowel,
I'll be
every
talking straight to you.
A-E-I-O-U, and sometimes Y. All right.
Why, Mintu? Why?
All right, thank you so much.
Why gotta be like this?
We'll see you tomorrow, okay?
All right,
Thanks,
bye-bye.
Annie. Bye-bye. All right, let's have a song. This is Ed Sheeran with Eyes Closed.
I know it's a bad idea, but how can I help myself? Been inside for most this year, and I thought a few drinks they might help. It's been a while, my dear, dealing with the cards life dealt. I'm still holding back these tears, well, my friends are somewhere else. I pictured this year a little bit different when it hit February. A step in the bar, it hit me so hard. Oh, how can it be this heavy? Every song reminds me you're gone, and I feel the lump form in my throat. 'Cause I'm here alone, just dancing with my eyes closed. 'Cause everywhere I look, I still see you. And time is moving so slow, and I don't know what else that I can do. So I'll keep dancing with my eyes closed. So I'll keep dancing with my delusion is here again, and I think you'll come home soon. But what brings me right back in? Then it's only me that's in this room. I guess I could just pretend the colors are more than blue, but I lost more than my friend. I can't help but missing you. I pictured this month a little bit different. No one is ever ready, and when it unfolds, you get in a hole. Oh, how can it be this heavy? Everything changes, nothing's the same, except the truth is now you're gone, and life just goes on. So I'm dancing with my eyes closed. 'Cause everywhere I look, I still see you. And time is moving so slow, and I don't know what else that I can do. So I'll keep dancing with my eyes closed. So I'll keep dancing with my eyes closed. Oh, I keep dancing with my. They're shutting the bar, they're cleaning the floor, and everyone is already home, but I'm on my own, still dancing with my eyes closed. 'Cause everywhere I look, I still see you. Time is moving so slow, I don't know what else that I can do. So I'll keep dancing with my eyes closed. Oh, I keep dancing with my eyes closed. Oh, I keep dancing with my.
Oh, yes. A little bit of Ed Sheeran here at Inside Out Busan.
Yeah, we had a bit of a survey going on here in the
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah.
Who likes Ed Sheeran?
Hands up if you like Ed Sheeran.
I raised my hand like
I'm
halfway.
I'm halfway.
Right?
Yeah, I like Ed Sheeran. I don't dislike Ed Sheeran. I listen to his song if it was on the radio. I wouldn't turn it off.
You gotta support your fellow countrymen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure.
All right, I'm gonna take that yes, and I'm gonna apply it to every artist from the UK from here on out.
Except no, not Joss Stone. Don't you dare put it on Joss Stone.
I wonder
Are you digging on
what it
me?
is about Joss Stone that you do not enjoy.
Joss Stone, Charlie Puth, Shawn Mendes. I don't know what it is. It's just I'm
You know
just
what?
like,
You have a type. You have a type. I see it.
I just don't like them. That's what it is. We've got history. We've got past beef, and not the
See?
delicious kind.
But Harry Styles is fine.
I mean, I don't particularly like Harry Styles, but I like his music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make up your mind.
It's just that everyone's different. We've got our preferences. What do you like, Minsu?
I'm open to everything
Really?
except classical
See?
and except country.
What?
Those are the only two genres of music I do have difficulty.
Dolly Parton is spinning.
I don't enjoy
Positively
it.
spinning.
She's talented, and I know she is. Don't enjoy it.
Well, see?
If it's got too much twang, don't enjoy it.
Well, I've got a bit of twang in my accent. Is that why you're constantly berating me?
Well, you found me out. I wasn't going to say anything.
Let's move along immediately.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Welcome to Inside Out Busan. It is Tuesday. It's the 30th of May. It's the second day of the brand new season. I'm Laura McCluckey.
And I'm Min-Soo Shin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
So the gloomy weather has been continuing today. Well, the rain, I think, saw until this morning, I feel like. It was on and off today.
It was super rainy.
Yes.
Loved it.
Uh-huh.
Here comes
Haley next to me is giving me like hand
rain
signals
again.
of what's coming down right now too.
Slightly.
Slightly.
It's not even her segment yet. She's gotta talk.
Well, I
see
did
that?
ask her. I did ask her
She's
a
in
question.
here. She's in here
right?
talking all. It's
Yeah.
just distracting us from our jobs.
You got details though. The deets on the weather.
I do have the deets. I was busy trying to log into YouTube so I could comment on your comment. Weather. Let's look at the weather first. Mercury level, aka temperature, averaging 18 degrees here in Busan. Morning lows of 17, afternoon highs of 23. Today is quite cloudy. It's muggy. It's humid. It's a bit chilly, actually. I wouldn't say it's that warm.
That's like the worst combination
yeah.
of weather: cloudy, muggy, and humid.
I thought muggy and humid is the same thing.
Oh,
no?
is it?
I think it is.
It's like a similar 느낌, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's go on. Tomorrow the sky will be clear again.
Thank
Woohoo! However, that means the UV rays will be boosted to high levels, especially after lunchtime. So be careful. 내일은 다시 하늘이 맑아지겠습니다. 자외선도 강해지겠습니다. 그래서 여러분 조심하세요. 선크림, 물, 선해트, 안경, 선글라스. 너 안경, 선안경.
선안경. 네. 네.
예.
선안경.
선안경.
Onto our traffic, we have congestion on the Name Express from Daejeon Interchange going
Yeah.
towards Mandok Interchange. Also congestion on Hwangyongdaero from Munjeon Junction going towards Hwangyong Tunnel.
Yeah.
Slow-moving traffic on Chungjangdaero from Hangman Three-Way intersection going towards the Dongcheon Three-Way intersection.
Yeah.
And we have a report of an accident, unfortunately. On Kayadero, from the former Kaesang Middle School junction going towards Seomyeon Junction, there is a two-car collision. That's right past Lotte Department Store. So everybody,
Drive safe.
yeah, especially with the weather still a bit rainy, according to Haley. That means wet roads.
Wet roads. Absolutely. Looking over here at the YouTube chat, we've got Miminsu texting in. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Minsu.
Hi, Minsu.
Is that you, Minsu?
That's, I mean,
Me, Minsu?
that is me, Minsu.
Yeah. 안지만님 texting in. 안녕하세요. 출첵. I love
지민이,
that.
지만님,
출첵.
안녕하세요.
Okay, let me just get a pen. Let me 출첵 you in there.
She does not have a pen in her hands. She
don't.
acted like she did.
I just use my fingers to 출첵 because there's nothing here. It's my script.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really have a 출첵. 배홍권님 texting in. Good evening. Hello again, 지만님. Good evening, 홍권. How are you? A little conversation. I love it. A little less conversation. And then Laura-님 says, hello. I wonder who
Laura,
that
is that you?
Yes.
Oh.
It is me. It is me, and I apologize for none of it.
And just to let you know, listeners on our YouTube, me, Minsu, is me. The mystery is gone. That is me, Minsu.
Somebody just called me with an unknown number.
Today?
Yeah, right now.
Oh, just
I just
now?
flicked it away. It said 생방송 중입니다. But that's exciting. I wonder who it is.
Well, call them back. Not
Place-
now, though. You got a show to do.
Place your bets. Should I call them back online? 네, 여보세요?
Is it a
On air.
010 number?
Is it 010? Oh!
I bet you it's somebody from the station.
I bet you it's not even anyone good. Rubbish. Anyway, let's keep this show moving along. It's time for the IOB 5분 상식. It's time for the IOB 5분 상식, getting you in the know of some of the most trending, the most useful, and the most need-to-know words and expressions in the world. 5분만 들으면 유식해지는 시간이죠.
네, 오늘은요. 인공위성은 왜 초속 7.5km 속도에 도달해야 하나요? Good evening, I'm Min-Soo Shin from IOB News. We've invited a scientist to shed some light on the complexities of launching a satellite rocket. Please welcome Dr. Kepler.
Oh, the pleasure is mine, dear anchor. I'm Dr. Kepler. 우리의 만남은 우연이 아니야.
Okay. Well, Dr. Kepler, so tell us how difficult it is to launch a satellite rocket.
Launching a satellite rocket requires meticulous planning, precise calculation, and a dash of luck. It's like trying to hit a bullseye while riding a unicycle blindfolded.
Oh, bloody splendid. That sounds very challenging, Dr. Kepler. Why is it so important to reach a speed of 7.5 kilometers?
That's quite the farewell from Earth. So, reaching escape velocity is like waving goodbye to gravity. That is defying gravity's grip. Oh, dramatic.
Oh, Doctor, farewell from Earth, defying gravity's grip. You almost sound like a poet.
Yes, you're right. I am a poet, Dr. Kepler.
What? We invited a scientist today.
Oh. Whoops, that's not me. I am a poet, launching a satellite, a dance of fire and dreams where Earth's embrace meets the starry realms, a symphony of calculation.
Stop. That is enough. We
la-di-da.
are done here today.
La-di-da.
You 사기꾼.
Launching a satellite. Do you notice that your accent changed to become more like my accent?
I
like,
did
wait
it.
a minute,
I
that's
did it
my
to. I did
accent.
it to. 흉내 you. I'm Laura McCluskey from IOB News.
I'm Laura McCluskey from IOB News.
IOB News.
We've invited, I love it in the script, I am the Min-Soo Shin from IOB News.
Because there is one and only Min-Soo
There's one
Shin,
and
right?
only.
So as we know, in the third launch of the nationally developed Nuri rocket, successfully placed a geosynchronous orbit last week, so the satellite. Now, I heard that the word Nuri means world in Korean.
Yeah.
And the name of the Korea Space Launch Vehicle 2 rocket. However, there was an instance back in 2021 when the launch of Nuri did not succeed. So tell us about that.
Okay. So Nuri is a 3-stage rocket developed to put satellites into low orbit, which is 600 to 800 kilometers above Earth. And the first launch back in October 2021 ended in, I don't want to say failure, it was partial success. So it got up there. It successfully flew to a target altitude, 700 kilometers, but it did fail to put the 1.5-ton dummy satellite into orbit as its third stage engine burned out earlier than expected. However, it just showed us that we could get up there, and it showed us what we need to do next time to be more successful. So it wasn't failure.
So a big number is 7.5 kilometers, as I mentioned. So why must satellite rockets reach the speed of 7.5 kilometers per second when it's being launched?
Because it's really big and it's got to get up there. It's like you got to think about a catapult, you know? You got to ping it. If you don't give it enough push, it's not going to go up.
It's just going to slow down,
It's
right?
going to like... phew. So satellite rockets need to reach a speed of approximately 7.5 kilometers per second in order to achieve orbit around the Earth. Now, this speed is actually known as orbital velocity. And if the satellite projectile travels at a higher speed, it would actually escape Earth's gravity and venture into space. So that's also not what we want.
Yeah.
It's like, bye, Nuri. Oh, really bye, gone. So conversely, if the satellite speed is lower, gravity will pull it back into the Earth's atmosphere and it won't be able to orbit properly. So it's really like precise.
So with my dyslexia, I read that wrong because I was like
Yeah.
7.5 kilometers. I was like, oh, orbit's pretty slow, no? But I was thinking, with the car, 7.5 kilometers, that's per hour,
Yeah,
right? 7.5 per second?
yeah.
That's crazy,
That's crazy fast.
right? Crazy fast in space.
Yeah.
Science is amazing. Science is amazing.
You're amazing.
No, thank you. I did not expect that.
You're welcome.
I don't know how to respond to that. I'll take it. Thank
Just
you.
take it.
Why do satellites have to reach a speed of 7.5 kilometers per second? 초속 7.5km 속도일 때 지구의 중력 안에서 원 모양 궤도로 안정적으로 돌게 됩니다.
네.
이보다 더 빠르면 지구 바깥으로 나갈 거고요. Like Laura mentioned. 느리면 대기권으로 떨어진다고 합니다. 오늘의 5분 상식이었습니다. 김대리, 퇴근하나?
예, 부장님.
집이 교회종이지? 같은 방향인데 같이 가지? 요즘 회사 생활 어떤가?
예, 저 열심히 잘하고 있습니다.
결혼 생활도 재밌지?
예, 뭐 즐겁죠, 예. 그 라디오라도 좀.
오, 그래, 라디오.
네가 저번 주에 온 신참인 것 같네.
22번 훈련병!
진짜 회사 생활 쉽지 않다. 어색한 이 순간 인사이드 아웃 부산과 함께하세요. 오늘은
TMI Busan.
We made you do it.
Yeah.
We made you do it.
Before you came in,
Shoulder.
we were introducing like the new segment that we have today, and I was like, I wonder if Haley's gonna go, TMI Busan, like you did with issue unboxing.
Did I? In the register that only dogs can hear?
Yeah.
We
So-
made you do it.
But we know you're gonna start off low at a low frequency, and then keep going
I'm just gonna keep
higher and
building
higher
up,
each
yeah.
week, right?
By August? Yeah. TMI Busan.
You can only hear it in space. We have Haley back with us for the new season.
Hello, I'm back.
Hi, Haley. How are you enjoying?
I'm doing well. By the way, it was not raining outside. And that's such a weird way, but it's like
So double
tiny
negative.
drops.
Oh.
Tiny drops are coming down sporadically.
Okay.
But then you look weird when you use an umbrella because tiny drops are coming down sporadically.
Yeah, it's like-
So,
It's like not enough rain to use an umbrella, but enough to like kind of like like the drops hit you in the face.
Well, and
it's,
then
like,
if you wear
noticeable.
glasses like Minsu does.
and then you have to like wipe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just use an umbrella. And then people will think you're weird and then they'll stay away from you and you'll have more space to walk.
I didn't bring one. So, there's that.
There is that. That's what it is. That's the real reason.
So Haley, you're with us for a new segment.
Indeed.
Same day
indeed,
that you're
I
with us.
am.
right?
Can't get rid of me, but just a different topic that I'll be talking about every single week.
Yeah. Care to fill us in on this new
Absolutely.
on this show?
It
segment?
combines two of my favorite things.
Talking.
Yes, yeah. How did
At
you know?
3 of my favorite
Well, you're so
things.
good at it. That's
Talking
why.
too much and the city of Busan.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be talking too much about the city of Busan.
Oh.
And I am here early every single week to pressure you to stop talking so I get more time to talk. Hello.
To distract us.
Yeah.
Well, we are starting your segment earlier than usual.
Are we really?
On Tuesdays.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Right?
Almost. A little bit.
So you're going to fill our listeners in on too much information about Busan because sometimes you just can't get enough, right?
You really can't. And these are all very, very useful information that are very closely connected to your everyday lives. Let's dive in.
Yes, we shall.
All right. So,
I was waiting for music there.
Yeah, let's dive in.
Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum.
No. And we sing 3 different songs just as we break our listeners' ears.
I don't care what you guys are
Apologies.
singing. I don't care what you guys are saying.
Oh my goodness. So, one thing that's concerning everyone money, especially the cost of living, especially the electric bill.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, personal TMI, I have an envelope from KEPCO, the Korea Electric and Power Corporation, that's just sitting on my dining room table. I have automatic withdrawals, so I'm not paying it. Money's going to go out anyway.
Yeah.
I just don't want to look at it.
You don't need to.
I mean,
You should
I'm in
definitely
denial.
look at it.
I mean,
So-
they're taking my money anyway, regardless of whether I know it or not. So I'm just.
You definitely should look at it.
it's
Once you look
uncracked.
at it, it's not as scary anymore. Open it
are you
up,
sure?
Takes away the power, and then you can plan. Then you can manage it. If you don't know how
but
much,
if I
then you're
open
just
it,
like.
I'm not scared anymore. I'm angry. There's a new emotion replacing the
Emotions are
current
tough.
emotion.
Yeah.
It's tough. But good news, starting next year, our electricity rates will come down relatively cheaper.
Yay!
So why is
That is good
that?
news.
Yeah, that is really good news. Last week, the National Assembly passed a special legislation on energy distribution. So this basically provides a foundation for the country to impose different electricity rates for cities and provinces. And why would they do that? And why would they prefer us and favor us? Well, because Busan City is home to the Kori nuclear power plant, which produces over 46,000 gigawatts of electricity. But then Busan City spends half of what it makes. So we have a lot of surplus energy. Where's that going? To the rest of the country, especially the capital area.
Why does Seoul take everything from us? Why?
See, carrying the country on our back.
Sharing is caring. And this is actually true of all regions that have nuclear power plants, like neighboring Ulsan, Gyeongbuk, and Jeonnam provinces. And by comparison, Seoul City consumed 48,000 gigawatt of electricity last year, which is 2.3 times more than what we spent.
근데 people in Busan are paying the same amount of rates
Right.
as people in Seoul.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
And I'd be surprised how much of that 48K gigawatts that Busan maybe helped out with.
Yeah.
Right? Supplying
Yeah,
to Seoul.
exactly.
So what will this bill do exactly then?
Right. So under this bill, the electricity seller, aka KEPCO and others, they can set different pricing depending on the region based on their production and consumption rate. So this differentiated system, however, will not go into effect immediately. It will have to go through a year-long waiting period. And of course, electricity rates are on everyone's minds because the government just increased gas and electricity rates by 8 won per kilowatt earlier this month. And electricity and gas consumer prices went up by 30% in the first quarter compared to the year before. And this summer, I hear it's going to be hot, humid, muggy. And by the way, muggy is humid plus hot, whereas humidity is just the moisture in the air. So
The
we're
more
going to
you
be
know.
wanting to turn on the AC. And, you know, every time you do, we're going to be worried about how much it's going to cost us. So hopefully next year, we'll worry a little bit less.
Yeah. When we moved into our house like 3 years ago, I made sure to buy all the appliances with that rating of 1.
Yeah,
right, for electricity
the
use.
best, energy consumption level.
But then after like 3 months, like, why is our electricity bill so high? And then I realized we have so many appliances.
Right.
That's still what the rating of 1. But this is good news because, you know, we talked about gas prices going up, electricity prices going up. But I want it now.
I know, I want it now because, I mean, our family, we're kind of a bit stingy about when we can turn on the AC. Especially, I live with my mom, who's always like, "Oh, it's not that hot." I'm like, "Are you sure? Really? Are we in the same country right now?" I'm like, and I run hot, she runs cold. So I guess we're eco-friendly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my husband was like, 왜 이렇게 덥노? 왜 이렇게 덥노? The other day, and it was definitely not hot. It was just humid.
Yeah.
He's like, 야, 니는 안 덥네. I'm fine. He's like, 켜야지. And he put on the aircon, and I'm
아니,
like,
더워요.
this
진짜.
It wasn't hot.
It is
was
hot
not-
though because it's humid. So if you just move even slightly,
Yeah.
you get
Sweaty,
sweaty. Yeah.
Yeah, because I noticed the temperature is like the same on like a cool day, but it's
Yeah.
the humidity.
But the 불쾌지수,
Yeah.
the discomfort rate is
Exactly.
up.
All right, so good news. Starting next year, we will see some discounts when it comes to our electricity bill with this bill.
Looking forward to it.
What's next?
Next up, this is not so good news because it concerns subway and safety, which is never, that great when we have to hear about that.
Yeah.
In the news, right?
Yeah. Sasang District sent an official request to Busan Transportation Corporation over a series of building cracks around a subway construction site. So if you've ever driven in Sasang District to Hadan, I swear, for the past, by the way, this marks my 10th year in Busan, but for that decade, every single time I drive to like Omgung, Hadan, Dadepo, I'm like, when is this construction ever going to get done?
Like smack dab in the middle of the road.
What are they digging so much that it's taken pretty much a decade, a better part of a decade. So this is the Sasang to Hadan subway line, which should connect lines 1 and 2, and that will be an unmanned light rail connecting the industrial complexes along the river. So construction began back in 2016. It was supposed to be completed 2 years ago, but it has been delayed until 2026. So it is taking literally a decade. The problem is residents along the construction lines say that they've noticed some cracks in the exterior walls of their homes and even inside. And they point to the excavation work that was being done and the strong shaking and the vibrations that came from the ground digging. So the district inspected these sites last week and noticed that most of these cracks are happening on the western side of the construction zone, about 50 meters away, more or less. And a lot of the homes there are older homes. So they kind of have weaknesses to begin with. So they're, of course, expressing concerns about this leading to larger safety issues, especially as rain season's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the rain, those cracks are only going to get bigger.
Right, and that weakens foundation.
Yes, exactly. This is very concerning.
Yeah. So what has the Transportation Corporation said about
Right,
this?
so it has apparently already done some fix-ups and inspections, and they will analyze the case with the contractors and explain the case to the residents. And they will inspect the area again once construction is completed in that portion and conduct any necessary fix-ups. However, the Transportation Corporation, rather, it's kind of going through its own problems because the head of the corporation just resigned earlier this week in the middle of his term to apply to be the head of CoRail. So the corporation is under the emergency interim leadership structure, and it's already dealing with another recent incident involving Line 1 train breaking down and kind of going off the tracks. So it certainly has a lot on its plate, but every single one of those items lead to our safety directly. As a avid subway rider, let's get this done.
Yeah. As Haley says, if the safety of residents around that area is at risk, I think they need to put down whatever else that they're working on and get to this, because if safety is involved, it's
Right,
most
and then there
important.
was even that one case with the soil spillage in this wasn't subway, this was a tunnel around Mandok and Minam area a couple months back where a ton of soil just spilled down from inside the tunnel. So we do have to be extra careful. I mean, I know they're kind of working against a Russian clock and they want to get it done early, but this is certainly a case where we want it done right rather than fast.
Exactly. All right, thank you so much for that. What's next?
All right, so online classes run by Busan Office of Education. So you're both parents, but your kids are young. But I know parents who have kids who are in school, elementary, middle, and high school. Kids are expensive. Yeah.
You don't have to tell me twice.
I know. And children's education is also very expensive. Yeah. And
맞아요.
one time I paid for my sister's online classes when she was in high school. And I was like, we pay this much for online classes? Like what? How?
Wait. You don't go to school.
Right.
You watch on screen the class. And
You're
I'm paying
gonna-
this much?
Exactly. You're going to sit on your butt and watch classes, and I have to pay an arm and a leg?
Yeah.
What? So, 인강. But the thing is, though, as someone who's in the education field, I think especially with the pandemic, the
paradigm of education has shifted. No one's going to classes anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're all going to online classes in Gang. It is the new norm in learning. So Busan City Office of Education, they're preparing for the country's very first public online class. That's exciting.
Oh.
Yeah, so according to the Education Office, 6 teachers who are currently high school teachers, they're recording classes on Korean language, English, and math. So that's 국영수, the 3 top most important subjects for the college entrance exam. And it's geared towards high school first years, at least this first phase is. So the teachers have already been selected. They've been based on student recommendations as well as a full, thorough assessment.
Okay.
And each teacher will record about 40 classes, and they will be made available roughly starting in September. I hope they're getting huge bonuses.
Okay, I'm
Huge,
sure. This is
huge.
a lot
I
of
hope they
extra
become
work on top of,
millionaires
right?
because of this. Right. And as for the Education Office, it has allocated a 3.9 billion won budget to form a dedicated platform so you can log on and watch the classes.
I'm sure this is going to be good for especially students that may have difficulty, right, getting to the classrooms, as we said. So
Absolutely.
more accessibility. So how will these classes be different from like other online classes that are already out there?
Well, number one, let's be blunt, money. Because private online classes are expensive, and this is the country's first public forum, so it will be, I mean, they haven't released the details well, but I'm assuming free or extremely cheap. So the aim is to bridge the regional gap in education that exists even in Busan, as well as to ease the financial burden of private education for the parents and guardians.
Yeah.
And what I really like is these will be suited to the students' needs. Because if you've ever taught a class, even in the same classroom, there are big differences in some of the best learners and the ones that have fallen behind. So online classes are great in that you can kind of do supplementary learning and do a little bit of extra fundamentals to boost your learning. And the key here is communication. So whereas conventional online classes, they're very single-sided. The teacher just talks in front of the camera. But these classes will have 24 Q&As available from the teachers and teaching assistants. And they will also make these shorts for the Tube and other streaming platforms to answer pressing questions and for better, faster, updated communication.
That's crazy. 24-hour round-the-clock Q&A.
Yeah. So once
available
again,
for
I hope
students?
these teachers become millionaires.
Yeah.
They deserve it.
Because, if you think of it, like games are free, NutTube's free, streaming shows, movies, cartoons, everything's free as long as you have access to the internet.
Right.
But what kids need most, education, right? If it was so hard to get because of prices, I think this definitely makes, accessibility not a factor when it comes to just having education available for children.
Yeah, I don't know. Not a fan of online learning.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Kids love it though, so.
Because we're manual, we're old school, right? We got to be
We're
in
old
the
school.
classroom to be.
I still
learn.
read paper books. I still write with a pen, but this is how kids learn. We're talking about the generation Alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're digital natives.
Don't try to stay relevant.
Who's
right?
that? I don't care. I don't want to be relevant. I want to be irrelevant.
You want to yell at clouds
Yeah.
and yell at the kids to get off your lawn?
Why are you on us?
She already does
Haley,
that.
we have time for one more bit of news.
All right,
quick
real
one.
quick. So if you are a taxi rider, do it today and tomorrow because starting June 1st, it's gonna get expensive. So starting next month, the base fare, 기본 요금 for taxis will be 4,800 won. The base fare distance, however, will remain the same at 2 kilometers, but it's going to get a little tricky because after the initial 2 kilos, the rates will go up by 100 won every 132 meters. And that's 1 meter shorter than the current system. But if you've ever ridden a taxi, it adds up. And for the timed meter, it'll go up 100 won for every 33 seconds. So overall, expect to see about a 15% increase on average. And base fare, if you take these premium taxis, they will start at 7,500 won. And real quick, for nighttime rides, they will also change as well. Currently, the additional surcharge for late night rides start at midnight until 4 a.m. But then from next month, that's going to start an hour early. So if you're going out on Friday nights, if you're enjoying your 불금 회식, you need to be out before 11 p.m. because after that, you're paying extra.
Yeah.
And then this is a sliding scale from 11 to midnight. 20% surcharge. Between midnight and 2 a.m., a 30% surcharge. That's the peak. And then the rates will go down to 20% from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m.
So you either have to go home before 11 or after 2.
Yeah, or just, find a sauna.
3차?
4차? 5차? Yeah.
It's either 1차, after the first round, and
Yeah.
you go home, or you gotta
3차. You gotta
power
get to the
through.
노래방.
And at that point, you might as well wait until 5 a.m. for the subways to resume.
walk home.
So,
맞아요.
yeah, or walk home.
I can see a lot of people playing Cinderella with these rates when it comes to the taxi,
Wow.
right?
Cinderella, stop drinking. Cinderella, go home.
Good idea. All right, lots of information that Haley has filled us in on for today's first episode of TMI Busan. Haley, we have a message that came in from 배홍고님 saying, we usually use the word TMI with quite a bad nuance, but this segment is so informative and useful. TMI.
Yay!
Yeah.
So you have a fan, Haley.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be
It
back
is.
with more TMI next week.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a great rest of the week. Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye, Haley.
Bye.
All right, it's time for us to say cheerio for, just a few moments. We'll be back at 7 o'clock. This is Gravity by DPR Live. Don't go anywhere.
그대로 보여줘 I want it right now I don't wanna see it slow 애매하게 굳는 건 난 싫어할 거면 확실하게 경고 없이 Yeah, show me your danger, show me your patience Hey gravity, you already know it Loving your pull, it's it as a bet 너는 내게 조금은 위험한 아이디어죠 너는 나의 마음을 조금은 쥐어덮여 Ever since I ever felt you Right there, life couldn't seem better Tulip flowers in my sweater Ask me now, is this Ever since I ever felt you Right there, life couldn't seem better
지그재그로 움직인대.
누가?
척추라인에 맞춰서 움직인대.
누가?
누구긴 누가 엔모션 프로지. 척추를 지그재그로 틀어 꾹꾹 눌러주는 움직임. 누가의 시그니처 모션. 누가 베스트 엔모션 프로. 가까운 누가페에서 만나요. 의료기기 광고입니다.
(2030) 부산 세계박람회 유치 범여성 추진협의회에서는 엑스포에 대한 시민들의 의식 제고와 홍보 활동을 위해 대학생과 일반 시민들을 대상으로 영어 스피치 대회를 개최합니다.
The Women's Council for the 2030 Busan World Expo is holding an English speech contest.
접수는 6월 1일 목요일부터 11일 일요일까지며 자세한 내용은 부산 영어방송 홈페이지를 참고하시기 바랍니다.
Registration is open from Thursday, June the 1st to Sunday, June the 11th. Come and add your voice to Busan's journey for the World Expo. For details, visit befm.or.kr.
이 행사는 사단법인 2030 부산 월드엑스포 범시민유치위원회와 BFM 부산 영어방송이 함께합니다.
SNS 매너 권법을 익혀라. 조상권. 타인의 얼굴을 보호하는 스티커 매너 저작권. 합법적인 음원 체크. 이것이 SNS 고수의 매너 권법. 공익광고협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 품격 있는 토크. 시끄러워 죄송합니다. 로라 민수의 Inside Out Busan.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for Inside Out Busan number 2.
Our number 2.
Yeah, not just number 2. There's only one Inside Out Busan. This is our number 2. I'm Laura McCluckey.
And I'm Minsu Shin. Thank you so much for joining us. If you hung out with us in the first hour, give yourself a gold star.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a long soak in the bath. We've got lots of messages coming in. Many messages. 오님, Hi 민수 로라 비 오는 주래요. 아, 맞아요. 인사이드 아웃 부산 청취하면서 다운된 기분 풀어요. 이츠님.
Thank you so much.
고마워요.
Miss님 saying 표정 연기가 압권. Thanks to you, the curiosity about science has been solved today. Also referring to our 5분 상식.
5분 상식.
Right.
맞습니다.
Were we making faces? Or were we acting on our faces? I don't remember.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Oh, God, I don't want to watch it. Oh.
It's just so natural to us. I can't picture myself when I'm trying
Everybody
to do
can
the
see
British
us doing
accent.
it now. Woo, blah, blah, blah. I
Good
probably close
evening.
my eyes like this.
Don't worry, you don't do
You
that.
get to watch me. And 토끼님, 스트릿 댄스 파티 시간인가요? What? That wasn't a street dance.
아니요. So I saw this message when we were
We were dancing to
Haley's
yeah,
introduction,
yeah.
right? I was just flailing my arms around.
Yeah, me too.
We should stop
We're
doing
good
that.
flailing. We're good flailers.
I forget people are watching us.
Yeah. Yeah, me
Well,
too.
토끼님, if you want more, press number 1.
맞습니다. And just real quick, we've got 안지만님 texting in Laura's Busan 사투리 is almost like Busan 사람. Amazing. Always fun to hear.
Of course, you would read that
좋네.
message. 네.
고맙습니다.
네. 우리 백주연님 메시지도 읽어주세요 한번.
어디?
네, 거기 위에 있잖아요.
어디?
백주연님.
Small face 민수님.
아이고.
How are you? I attend.
주님.
Small face 민수님.
감사합니다. 주연님, if you see me in real life,
Because in the distance. That's why.
disappointed.
No.
That's what we usually get.
Oh, so sad.
Thank you so much for all your messages.
Yeah.
So to kick off our number 2 of Inside Out Busan, we have our daily segment called
On the mic. Yes.
Yeah.
And today we're going to meet a brand new reporter for On the Mic. So let's see who's on the mic today.
안녕하세요. 제니입니다. 요즘 경제 그리고 문화 올림픽이라고도 불리우는 월드 엑스포, 곧 세계 박람회가 부산에 유치되기를 바라며 각종 행사와 이벤트들이 이루어지고 있는데요. 우리나라의 문화라고 하면 우리나라 고유 음악인 국악이 빠질 수 없겠죠. 그래서 오늘은 부산시립국악관현악단의 검은고 수석 연주자님을 모셔보았습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네, 자기소개 한번 부탁드립니다.
네, 저는 부산시립국악관현악단에서 검은고 수속 연주자로 활동하고 있는 이대하라고 합니다.
네, 반갑습니다. 검은고 수석 연주자님이라고 하셨는데 검은고는 어떤 계기로 시작하게 되셨나요?
제가 어렸을 때 유년 시절을 보낸 곳이 탄광촌인데요. 그곳에는 교육 인프라가 그렇게 많이 형성되어 있지 않은 곳이었어요. 그런데 그곳에서 저는 막연하게 예술가가 되고 싶다는 그런 꿈을 꾸며 살았는데, 그래서 혼자서 노래도 해보고 연극도 해보고 춤도 춰보고 이러면서 유년 시절을 보냈어요. 그러던 중에 국악고등학교라는 것을 알게 됐어요. 그래서 그곳에 입학하게 되면서 우리 음악을 연주하는 연주자의 길로 걸어가야겠다 이렇게 다짐했고, 그러던 중에 한 선배가 검은고를 들고 등교하는 모습을 보고 너무 멋있어 보이는 거예요. 그 모습이. 그래서 나는 검은고 연주자가 되어야 되겠다 이렇게 생각하고 그때부터 열심히 배우게 되고 또 연습을 하면서 그 길을 걸어오게 되었습니다.
들어보니까 상당히 어린 시절 때부터 음악에 또 관심이 있으셨고, 그리고 또 약간 남다른 케이스로 국악을 시작을 하게 되신 것 같은데, 이 검은고 수석 연주자가 되기까지 분명 힘든 점들도 있었을 텐데 가장 힘들었던 순간은 언제일까요?
힘들지 않은 순간이 또 반대로 쉽다고 볼 수가 없습니다. 매 순간이 힘들고. 근데 처음 서두에 말씀드렸다시피 저는 탄광촌에서 어떠한 음악적인 교육 인프라가 또 형성되지 않은 곳에서 혼자 예술가가 되겠다는 막연한 꿈을 가지고 혼자 나름대로 이것저것을 해보고 그러다가 국악고등학교라는 곳에 입학했는데, 그러니까 음악적 자산, 뭐 예술적인 자산이 없이 시작해서 검은고를 접하고 뛰어난 연주자들과 결혼하는 그 과정이 굉장히 힘들었습니다. 처음에 검은고를 배우는 그 과정도 저에겐 굉장히 힘들었고, 그래서 그 과정을 통과하는 그 순간이 굉장히 힘들었는데 그것 때문에 오늘날의 저가 있지 않나 이렇게 생각이 듭니다. 그리고 또 한 번의 힘들었던 순간은 제가 이제 가정을 꾸리고 저는 자녀가 4명인데 그 4명의 아이들을 출산하고 그러면서도 이 악기를 놓지 않고 계속 연습을 하고 이렇게 연주자로서의 길을 걸어갈 때 육체적인 고통, 정신적인 고통이 굉장히 컸습니다. 그렇지만 이러면서 제 자신을 다잡고 이렇게 나아갔던 그 길들이 힘들지만 보람되지 않았나. 네, 그렇게 생각합니다.
그럼에도 이렇게까지 수석 자리를 놓지 않고 유지를 할 수 있었던 데는 분명 검은고만의 매력이 있을 거라고 생각을 하는데요. 본인이 생각하는 검은고의 매력은 어떤 것인지 한번 말씀해 주시겠어요?
검은고는 굉장히 특이한 악기예요. 검은고는 현악기에 분류되는데 타악기적인 요소도 가지고 있어서 선율과 또 리듬을 함께 연주할 수 있는 그런 악기이고요. 배우는 과정 중에서도 그 고난 굉장히 힘들어요. 그거를 이겨내고 하면서 거기서 나를 성찰해보고 이럴 수 있는 철학적인 악기이기도 하고요. 그리고 타악기적인 요소가 있다고 했잖아요. 그래서 신나게 나를 풀어낼 수도 있어요. 그래서 여러 가지 그 내면의 여러 가지 희노애락을 표현할 수 있는 그런 굉장히 멋진 악기입니다.
이런 다양한 매력들로 지금까지 이렇게 검은고를 연주를 하고 계신 것 같은데요. 이제 인사이드 아웃 부산 청취자분들께 짧게나마 방금 말씀하신 그 매력적인 검은고의 소리를 잠시 들려주실 수 있으실까요?
네.
네, 너무 잘 들었습니다. 네, 이렇게 해서 오늘은 검은고 수석 연주자님을 모시고 이야기를 나누어 보았는데요. 국악의 매력이 전 세계로 알려지길 바라며 오늘의 인터뷰 마치겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다.
Oh, Jenny, our new reporter with a fantastic first interview. Thank you so much, Jenny.
네.
And our interviewee, 이대하님,
네.
principal performer of the 검은고 at the Busan Metropolitan Traditional Orchestra.
Yeah. So we heard a little taste of what the 검은고 sounds like right towards the end of the clip. And many of you, so I have trouble kind of associating the name of Korean instruments to what they actually look like.
Yeah.
But the 검은고 is kind of really easy to remember because I remember it as a guitar you lay down. So it has 6 strings. And it's one that you kind of just lay down. So it's a plucked zither, as they described it to me before. So it's that huge instrument where you kind of put it on your lap and you just kind of start plucking away with your fingers, the 6 strings. And you have no idea what I'm talking about right now.
No, I'm enjoying the visuals.
Yeah, so the 검은고, which is considered a pretty representative traditional instrument of our country, and you don't see a lot of it these days, though, right? So 이다혜님 preserving the instrument as well as the skills in which you need to play it. She mentioned she made the decision to pursue her career as a 검은고 player because she saw her 선배, I guess, her senior, carrying around a 검은고 on her back during when she was in high school, right? And if you see big instruments, people carry around, oh, that's so cool. I wonder what that is.
Yeah.
That's how I got kind of really interested. like in like the tuba or like the
Remember
trombone.
I told you I played the euphonium?
Oh yeah, which is like a smaller tuba.
Yeah,
you
it's like a
mentioned,
step
right?
down from a tuba.
Mm-hmm. So like I don't know, as a kid, you think, big instruments because it's loud. Like I want to play that, right? She probably had that in mind when she selected the komungo.
Yeah, but she said that she had difficulty because she grew up in a small town, a rural area, and so there was a bit of a lack of cultural infrastructure. So it was difficult to find those kind of things. And I think, I'm not sure so much about rural areas, but the government here in Busan really puts so much emphasis on culture, music, art, the arts in general. And I think that's really inspiring.
맞아, they have a lot of these traveling cultural organizations that they take whatever, like music, form of art, performances, dance, plays and everything. They take it to people who can't come out to the big city to watch it, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's how, she got exposed more and more to the instrument and the art.
Yeah.
But she also mentioned she also ran into a bit more difficulty when she had a family of her own, a mother of 4 children.
Yeah, that's the biggest accomplishment, I
맞아요.
think. 대박입니다.
네, 아이가 4명인데, but even during this time, she did not put down her instrument. She continued to be a mother as well pursue her komungo playing.
Better woman than me. I got 2 kids, I do nothing. I sit in my pajamas and watch TV.
I have no comment on it, right? And to finish off, she mentioned the komungo is a philosophical instrument to her. She finds that while, percussion instruments allow to express her excitement, through the komungo, she could express the inner emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, I think.
I think, do you know what? I've only ever had 가야금 music to listen to when I want to relax, but there's an album I really like, so maybe I'll kind of look for a similar album with the komungo.
The sound is a bit deeper, right, than the 가야금, because I think the strings are a little thicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel relaxed. Anywho.
Yes. Thank
Let's
you so
move
much.
along.
Yeah, that'll do it for today's On the Mic.
Yeah.
Good job to our reporter, Jenny. Expect more of her every Tuesday. 감사합니다.
All right. Let's have a song. This is Weezer, Island in the Sun.
When you're on a holiday, you can't find the words to say all the things that come to you, and I wanna feel it too. On an island in the sun, we'll be playing and having fun, and it makes me feel so fine. I can't
Dr. Liu's in the studio already. He's here. But before we get into Dr. Liu's
He
segment...
had to finish his sentence, even if it means cutting
That's
into,
all right. Everybody
cutting into the
does
mic
it.
time.
This is the most professional show at BEFM. So, a little thing here and there doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're better than all the other shows, clearly.
Professionals
Right?
we are. Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Agreed. Welcome back. Inside Out Busan. It's Tuesday the 30th of May. I'm Laura McCluckey.
And I'm Min-Soo Shin. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody on the airwaves and everybody on our YouTubes. Hello. And it's a party in our chat.
It's a party over here.
There's so much talking going on in
Yeah.
the chat. I love it.
Somebody says they're going home now. Oh, Honggon-님 texting in. I'm going home, happiest moment. I said, run home. What are you going to eat? Enjoy Dr. Bobby Brown in the house. Run. I'll eat maybe jipap with seaweed soup, roasted beef. Run. Laura McCluckey.
You're not even saying who's saying what.
Laura McCluckey, you do so much. What you talking about? And then it's just going on and on and on. I love it.
Thank you so much for all your active activity on our YouTube chat.
Here
Love
we go.
it.
Before we get into Dr. Liu's segment, Dr. Liu is here. Today he's going to be talking about osteoporosis, but if you do have any other questions that you want to ask him, he is a certified medical doctor in Korea and also in the US. So if you have any questions for Dr. Liu, please do put them in the chat and we'll ask him, okay?
Yeah.
Deal?
Deal.
Okay. Weather-wise, it's currently averaging 19 degrees Celsius, morning lows of 18, afternoon highs of 23 tomorrow. Finally, clear skies we'll be able to see tomorrow, and air quality will be normal to good. 내일은 날씨가 다시 맑겠고요. 미세먼지는 좀 수준을 보일 수 있습니다.
다행입니다.
그렇죠.
When it comes to our traffic, congestion on 중앙대로 from Yeongju Junction towards Busan Station. Also congestion on Nakdong-Namno from Seongsan Three-Way intersection going towards the Gangseok Police Station. We also have slow-moving traffic over on Suyeonglo from Mokgol Junction going towards the Yongso Three-Way intersection. Everybody?
Drive safe.
네, go.
Go. All right, let's get into it. It's time for Dr. Liu. Yes, Dr. Liu's in the house. You made it.
Yeah, I made it. Dr. Liu's inside. 예, 반갑습니다. 제가요, over the last few
few hours?
Hours. Without this show, I'm not going to be able to speak English because English is not my mother tongue, so I get to use a lot of Koreans. So this is the only time I get to use English. So I get I've been exposed to a lot of Koreans, so my English might get rusty to you guys, but I hope you guys bear with me. Anyhow, I'm gonna start off by giving off my 아재 개그.
Yeah, for the new season, Dr. Liu's 인사의학 season 2, and he always starts off his segment with 아재 개그.
아재 개그.
I don't know
a dad joke.
What came to me, but what's got into me, but I don't know. But it's 아재 개그. One of the biggest hits was Bobby Brown, but 이건 정말 사람들의 눈높이 너무 높여놓은 것 같아요. I'm trying to figure out all the time whenever I go or whenever I see my
이것도
patients.
스트레스 되죠.
Oh yeah.
You have become 방송인. Dr.
Oh,
Liu,
really?
Right? If you have to think about always upping yourself.
Okay.
Every segment.
Yeah, that's right. But my son, he gives him a lot of help. He said that yesterday. 아빠 지금 인도는 몇 시게?
인도는 몇 시게?
In Korean, 인도네시아. 빠밤. 근데 그런데 또 하나 아들이 또 하나 또 해줬어요.
네.
There are various kinds of fruits that are good for our body. What's the father fruit? What's the father?
What's the father fruit?
Is this Korean?
Paw.
파파야.
맞았어요.
파파야.
정말 제가 볼 때마다 닥터 씨는 정말 지니어스한 것 같아요. 옛날에 룰러도 맞췄어요. 룰러가 이제 통치자도 되지만 이게 자도 되잖아요.
네.
자도 맞추고 또 다른 것도 맞춘 것 같아요.
You know what? I've been called a
Amazing.
genius a couple times throughout my lifetime.
Yeah.
This is one of those times. Thank you, Dr.
Dr. Liu, we've got a question from Hen-nim saying, I have a serious medical question.
Oh, no.
Okay.
How are Dr. Liu's bangs always perfectly coiffed every week?
What's a coif?
Coiffed. 앞머리가 왜 이렇게 예쁘게
앞머리
해놔시는
저 정말 처음 듣는 단어인데요. 고마워요. coiffed.
coiffed.
So parted in a very clean, like this wave, you mean, right?
I never use hair conditioner. I just use just soap and then just to let it dry with the natural air.
Au natural, baby.
Natural, baby.
There you have it.
And
회원님, not shampoo, soap on your hair,
신경을 안 써서.
and no blow dry.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. 정말 감사합니다. 이 50대 넘은 아재 개그에 웃어주시고 이렇게
맞아요.
답해주시 정말
영광입니다.
Yeah, you stole my heart. Okay.
So on to the actual segments
Yes,
that we
right.
do have to do. Dr. Yu's 인사의학. So we do cover various, medical news, concerns, issues that we see, especially here in Korea with Dr. Ryu.
네.
Dr. Ryu, what do you have for us today?
어제도 그렇고 그제도 그렇고 계속적인 헬스 이슈를 계속 보니까요. 최근에 그 골절 환자가 많았고 또 얼마 전에 뉴스가 나왔더라고요. 얼마 전에 어떤 뉴스냐면 우리나라 골다공증 환자. 골다공증이라는 말은 뼈가 약해진다는 건데 오늘 this is going to be our today's topic, which is osteoporosis. osteoporosis 여기 액센트가 올라가야 돼요. osteoporosis. 근데 골다공증 환자가 몇 명인 줄 아세요? Wait for it. 100만 명이래요.
1 million?
100만 명을 돌파했대요.
Oh my gosh.
So, like cards on a table, I've got to go and get an MRI tomorrow because I had like sore back, and I was looking at some of the. I was diagnosing myself on WebMD, smart.
WebMD.
And so I was looking at some of the reasons for a pain in my back and what they told me, and osteoporosis can be one of those things, especially difficult for women. So I'm really interested to hear all of the things that you've got to say today.
맞아요. 여자들이 지금 우리 Dr. Laura just gave away one of the risk factors of getting osteoporosis, which is being female. 왜냐면은 여자분들은 남자분들에 비해서 에스트로겐의 영향을 많이 받아요. Women are more affected by estrogen, but when their estrogen dies out, which means when they hit the menopause, their estrogen level goes down, plummeting. So it enhances the bone resorption. Bone resorption means 본이 점점 없어지는 거예요. 그래서 when we look at our bones, you might tell the two different kinds of bones. One is compact bone. 우리 여러분 감자탕이나 뭐 뼈 같은 거 우리 갈비탕 먹어볼 때 보면은 이 shell, the outer surface of our bone is compact bone. The inside of it is called sponge bone. It looks like a sponge.
SpongeBob.
왜 SpongeBob? 스펀지본이죠. 스펀지본인데 이 스펀지본이 있는 이유는 그게 안에 bone marrow가 있어서 거기서 피가 형성이 돼요.
So I was going to ask, is that different from the marrow?
marrow
But
같은 말이에요.
it's part of the sponge.
예, 맞아요.
right?
part of the sponge. 그래서 여러분들 어렸을 때 엄마들이 뼈 튼튼하게 하려면 사골 먹어야 된다 그러잖아요. Actually, 사골 is not good for our bones. It's just for it's made of just a lipid and just adipose fatty material.
Can you imagine like people living on those words?
People
맞아요.
do live on words.
Yeah.
그렇죠. Actually, 정말 하지만 과학적으로, 의학적으로는 사골은 절대 우리 몸에 별로 그렇게 nutritional 면 쪽으로 봤을 때 calorie because it contains a lot of fatty material.
Yeah.
그렇지만 칼슘이나 이런 뼈를 튼튼하게 한다는 거는 it's like if you eat some chewing some dictionary, you might remember all the words that's written on that paper. 하지만 그런 말이 될 수가 있는 겁니다. 약간 골다공증이 얼마나 심각하냐면 when I was working at a geriatric hospital as a principal, 원장을 뭐라 그러죠? 원장.
Director.
Director. 오케이. 그때 일할 때 환자분들 제가 take care 하면서 어떤 경우가 있었냐면은 I'm gonna give you some massage on your knees and your thighs, and then just putting some little tense, just minor massage can break their bones.
Really?
Yeah.
And also, one of my patients came to the dinner table and then just sat on her chair, but it was a little bit hard. That broke her hip joint.
Yeah.
I have relatives that even just like a slight fall, right? Just like a little trip ended up shattering their hip and they're just bedridden.
근데 그게 bedridden만 되는 게 아니라요. 힙 프랙처가 되잖아요. 그러면은 50%는 그 65세 이상에서 힙 프랙처가 되면은 50% 이상은 저기 사망할 수가 있어요. 네, 왜냐면은
So that's the worst case scenario.
예, worst
right?
case scenario에서 이 나이가 들수록 50%예요. 50%는 살 수 있고 50%는 정말 이 세상에서 삶을 끝낼 수가 있다는 거예요. 놀라운 사실 아니겠어요?
So osteoporosis, can we simply say that it's the like make your bones becoming smaller and smaller in mass, becoming very brittle?
Oh
to a
yeah,
point,
that's right.
right?
Not 100% sure, not 100% correct, but there are two types of cells. One is osteoblast, which is like a worker that's constructing a building. They are putting a lot of nutrients and they are building our bone structures. And the other one is osteoclast. It's destroying. But their competition is pretty much neck and neck. But when you are younger, the osteoblast is working better than class. That's why our bone is continuously regenerate and reforming and reshaping our bones. So, but at the time we hit 30, osteoclast. The breaking bone cells are conquering the blast, conquering osteoblast. So that's why we get to lose our bone density. So we have a lot of holes in our bones. 그래서 구멍이 뽕뽕뽕뽕 뚫리는 거를 골다공증이라고 얘기하죠. 오스테오블라스트라고 하는 뼈를 만들어주는 세포가 있고 오스테오클라스트라고 하는 뼈를 파괴시키는 세포가 있는데 이게 어렸을 때는 오스테오블라스트가 많아서 계속 뼈가 생성이 되고 자라고 하지만 나중에 30살이 되고 나서는 클라스트가 형성이 많이 되고 블라스트가 점점 줄어들어서 뼈가 점점 없어지는 겁니다. 근데 여러분들 제가 나이가 아까 얘기했죠. 아재인데 아재니까 요즘에 젊은 사람들 다이어트 한다고 보면은 막 그 이쁘다보다 아니면 날씬하다 이런 보다 보면은 나중에 나이 들면 아프겠다. 나이 들면은 어떻게 될까 그 생각이 많이 나가지고 안타까울 때가 많이 있어요. 그래서 여러분들 요새 나오는 이 과학의 저널에 보면은 정말 허벅지가 꿀벅지. You have a very big thigh, like honey, 꿀단지. 그럴수록 치매도 안 걸리고 힙이랑 허벅지가 아무튼 굵어야 돼요. 완전히 빵빵한 허벅지하고 엉덩이가 여러분들의 미래를 책임을 진다고 보시면 됩니다. 그게 치매도 예방하고요. 또 뼈도 튼튼하게 만들어요.
So a little heft.
You need
does
to
help.
get some junk in the trunk. You got to make that butt a peach. You got to work it.
맞아요. Oh, that's right.
That's a way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been trying to make a peach butt at the gym for a long time, but then I just, run out of time.
So blame it on time.
Got to get back to it.
Blame it on time, right?
But you can use some kind of munchy time, snack time, using snack time, which means making out of your daily activity. For instance, when you are sitting, just when you're studying, when you're reading books, wanting to do a squatting position like this, and reading your books. Shaking your leg.
In like a frozen squat position.
Yeah, that's right. Frozen squat position.
Right.
And then also when you're doing dishes, when you do dishes, don't lean on the sink because you might feel a little bit easy. You might feel a little bit comfortable. But as the more time you spend on leaning on the sink for a long time, you might have a back pain problem.
Sure.
That's why, in that case, why don't you flex your knee a little bit, and then squatting position, and then 엉덩이를 갖다 뒤로 뚱 빼가지고 오리궁뎅이 되게 해가지고 이렇게 해서 좌우로 움직이면서 이렇게 뭐 설거지를 한다거나 주방 일을 하게 되면은 정말 튼튼한 뼈를 만들 수 있을 것
Yeah,
같습니다.
things that you could apply into your daily life, right? 우리 지마님 saying 스쿼트 열심히 합시다.
맞아요, 스쿼트 해줘야 돼요.
지마님 said this, Laura, right after you said you're not getting what did you say? What did you call it? A peach?
Peach.
Oh, right. Well, do more squats. Right?
I like squats. I really like squats. I like working out the 하체 운동 진짜 좋아하고. 산이 운동도 좋아하고. 운동 그냥 좋아하고.
피치라는 말이 이렇게 복숭아가 이렇게 튼튼하게 엉덩이가 땅땅하게 보이는 것처럼 그래서 피치라고 하는 건가요?
Like a peach, like the peach emoji. Shall I show you the peach emoji?
peach emoji.
Like peach emoji, not peach emoji.
very
peach
visual
emoji.
here.
Peach. Okay, so watch this,
그래요,
Dr. Liu.
감사합니다.
Let me show you. I just sent that to my husband
맞아요.
too, but like what? So that's what you
그렇군요.
do when you're talking about a butt.
오, 그렇군요. 네, 잘 봤습니다.
Yeah.
All right.
Little
Well,
peach.
you know, because osteoporosis is something that can be, I guess, prevented, but I'm sure not with only squats though, right? Make sure keeping your bones and muscles around it there. What are some other things that we can do that could prevent the onset of osteoporosis?
젊었을 때, when you are younger, when you're young, you have to save up your calcium, and then you have increased the bone density. And then when you reach 30, you have to do your best not to lose more calcium. So you gotta eat some calcium and vitamin D. Many people are misunderstanding this situation because vitamin D is not only we can absorb it not only through our skin, but we have to eat it because just getting vitamin D through our skin is not sufficient enough to maintain our body. So a lot of statistics a few days ago, I saw that about two-thirds, 3분의 2, two-thirds of our female generation are lacking or deficient, vitamin D deficient. 이 바이타민 D가 3분의 2 정도가 우리나라 여성에서는 결핍이래요, 결핍. 그래서 결핍이 되게 되면은 나타나는 증상이 탈모도 되고 우울해질 수 있겠고, 그 다음에 힘도 빠지고 여러모로 이런 여러 가지 시스테믹한 증상 또 멘탈적으로 아주 침울한 그런 증상이 생길 수가 있습니다. 그래서 바이타민 D를 또 먹어야 되는데 바이타민 D의 resources includes egg yolks. 그 다음에 oily fish like salmon, 삼치, 참치, 고등어, 연어 이런 거를 먹어 주셔야지 되고요. 이거 그냥 햇빛만 본다고 되는 거 하는 거. 예.
Milk?
밀크도
vitamin D
중요해요.
in it too?
그렇지만 밀크는 칼슘이 있거든요. 네, 칼슘이 있기 때문에 밀크도 같이 먹어야 되는데 밀크보다는 요크가 더 좋죠.
There's not much. Milk is so processed that there's not that much calcium.
Oh,
and
because
stuff left in
like
it now.
when you buy milk, like they put on blast on the milk carton vitamin D. You know, right? So that's why I thought, it must be chock full of vitamin D.
근데 바이타민 D는 actually 그거예요. 그 리피드 그 라이포필리라 그래서 우리가 수용성 비타민이 아니라 지방으로 되는 거기 때문에 ADK는 지방에 녹는 그러한 비타민이거든요. 그래서 그런 경우는
Fat soluble
fat
vitamins.
soluble, that's right, lipophilic. 그래서 이런 게 중요합니다. 그 다음에 또 우리가 또 어떻게 해야 되냐면은 술을 먹게 되면은 또 칼슘이나 바이타민 D 인텍을 막거든요. The alcohol consumption prevents us from absorbing a lot of calcium and vitamin D in our guts. So that's why in drinking in moderation, I'd rather steer clear of any alcoholic beverages. Is the best option to maintain our healthy, bone healthy situation. And also sedentary lifestyle. I told you sedentary lifestyle이 그냥 항상 앉아서만 일하는 사람들. 뭐라 그러죠? couch potato, being a couch potato 하게 되면은 뼈를 점점 잃게 돼가지고 나중에 또 오스테오포로시스를 겪을 수가 있습니다. 그럼 운동을 해야 되는데 아까 저 스쿼팅 했잖아요. 근데 운동이 중요한데 뼈를 튼튼하게 하는 것 중에서 이게 중요해요. 웨이트 베어링 운동이 중요해요.
맞아요. We gotta do
okay.
weights.
예, 왜냐면은 그냥 사이클링 한다거나 아니면 제가 수영을 좋아하는데 스위밍 같은 거 하게 되면은 사실 머슬은 튼튼해지고 조인트는 좋아지는데 뼈에 대해서는 not that efficient, not that sufficient. 그래서 사이클링이나 이런 수영보다는 점핑이라든지 아니면 워킹이라든지 댄싱 이런 거 있잖아요. 웨이트리프팅 이런 것들이 우리 골다공증을 좋게 한다라는 거를 꼭 알았으면 좋겠습니다.
I heard balancing exercises are also pretty good.
Balancing is because it's defying gravity. defying gravity 하는 거는 아무튼 뼈에 좋다라는 걸 알았으면 좋겠습니다.
MJ Neem is texting on the YouTube channel. Dr. Yu, is there any food that affects osteoporosis in a good way or a bad way?
So you mentioned a couple, like salmon, egg whites, right? That's a good. So what are foods then we should just stay away from if, let's say, you're at risk of osteoporosis?
카페인인데 밥 먹고 나서 바로 카페인을 먹게 되면은 칼슘 업소션을 갖다가 막아서 조금은 안 좋을 수 있겠고 또 그다음 processed food 같은 경우에는 디멘시아도 일으키겠고 또 여러모로 브레스트 캔서나 이런 캔서 related problem도 일으킬 수 있기 때문에 안 좋죠. 그러면은 우리가 먹어야 될 건 아까 얘기했듯이 여러 가지 오일리한 피쉬를 먹어야 되겠는데 그 외에 또 좋은 소스로서는 멸치도 칼슘도 같이 먹어야 되거든요. 그래서 칼슘을 같이 먹으면 멸치 좋죠. 그다음에 또 a lot of soy products like 두부라든지 된장, 청국장 이런 것들. 그다음에 오렌지 주스 중에서 fortified vitamin D가 contained 된 오렌지 주스가 있어요. 그런 거를 먹어주면 좋은데 그런 것보다 중요한 건 내추럴한 그런 프루츠가 좋겠죠. 그래서 제가 항상 얘기하는데 참외 껍질 깨끗이 씻어서 드시면 정말 짱입니다. 참외 껍질 여러분 검색해 보세요. 엔타이옥시던트가 있어요. 그다음에 배 껍질. 저 배 껍질 계속 먹거든요. 참외 껍질도 먹고.
네.
그러니까 정말 I have a very Every time I go to the bathroom, I really have a fantastic bowel movement. Anyhow, 이거가 정말 중요하다라는 거.
Magnificent.
이 magnificent. 수박도 나오면 이제 수박 껍질도 드시면은 되게 좋을 것 같아요. 근데 이게
수박 껍질은 좀 어렵겠다.
수박 껍질은 좀 어렵죠. 그래서
I draw the line there.
예, 근데 그걸 갖다가 잘라가지고 이제 묻혀가지고 밥 반찬으로 먹으면은 맛있어요. 좀 귀찮을 수 있지만 그게 또 건강에 좋다 그러는데 I've never tried actually 수박 껍질. 하지만 나머지는 참외 껍질이랑 배 껍질이랑 사과 kop질이랑 이런 거, 포도 껍질 이런 거는 많이 먹어봤어요. 여러분들 정말 자연으로 돌아가서
맞아요, 자연으로.
자연 돌아가서 우리 artificial한 거는 조금 약간 지양을 하고 자연으로 돌아가서 우리가 하늘에서 주신 깨끗한 공기. 깨끗한 물, 그다음 우리의 생명을 소중히 여기면서 행복하게 살았으면 좋겠습니다.
아이고 감사합니다, Dr. Liu. Talking about osteoporosis, 100만 명이라 했죠. So
100만 명.
Currently, there are 1 million registered
맞아요.
patients with osteoporosis here in Korea. So it is quite a concern, and there probably is more. But it's good to know that this is something that can be very much, prevented even with just changes, slight changes into our daily life, especially with our diet, right?
That's right.
Dr. Liu, thank you so much. We have 혜연님 saying 과일 껍질 saves lives.
맞아요.
Never thought we hear that before.
Hashtag.
Yeah, but very true according to Dr. Liu. Dr. Liu, thank you so much. Another episode of 인싸의학 in the books. We'll see you back here next week.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Mosey along.
You will mosey along.
Mosey along. Bye, Dr. Liu.
감사합니다. All right, let's take a song break.
All right, this is Conan Gray, Telepath.
Don't even finish that sentence, babe. Already know how this ends. You say we're breaking up, what a shame. Don't even wanna stay friends. God, it's just so you're just so predictable. Won't you try something original? Old news, reuse. That's why I don't cry. 'Cause I got a feeling you're coming back just like you have in the past. Yeah, I got a feeling you'll be sending me trash you should've left in the drafts. Yeah, I got a feeling you'll see me moving on and hate that I'm gone. I can't see it. You're coming back, call me a telepath. Now's a perfect time your boredom hits. Oh, yeah, you were at my door. Drunk and asking me for a kiss. When yesterday you said that you hate my guts, now you're back in love. It's so you're just so predictable. Won't you try something original? Old news, reuse. That's why I don't cry. 'Cause I got a feeling you're coming back just like you have in the past. Yeah, I got a feeling you'll be sending me trash you should've left in the drafts. Yeah, I got a feeling you'll see me moving on and hate that I'm gone. I can't see it. You're coming back, call me a telepath. But I bet you, I bet you, I bet you, I bet you, I'll call you when I'm crying, yeah. I bet you, I bet you, I bet you, I bet you, return it perfect timing and I won't stop you from trying. 'Cause I got a feeling you're coming back just like you have in the past. to the left and it drives. Yeah, I got a feeling inside. You'll see me moving on and hate that I'm gone. I can't see it. You're coming back, call me a telepath. Call me a telepath. Call me a
He's all about the paths, is this Conan Gray. He's got maniac, psychopath, and now telepath.
Oh, 그래?
Oh,
This is my actually first time hearing Conan Gray.
really?
A Conan
No,
Gray
it's
song.
not.
Well, I probably heard one before. Just didn't pay attention to what the
You
artist's
just didn't
name
know
was.
who the guy was. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's You with Charlie Puth.
Who?
Okay. Exactly. Well, listeners, we just had Dr. Liu in the studio with us for another season of Insa 의학. He'll be joining us every Tuesday, second hour. So just to let you know, if you have any questions about not maybe specifically your health or just questions and curiosities about just health in general, feel free to message every Tuesday.
Every day, because we can also answer your questions. We don't know the answers, but we'll give it a try.
Oh, yeah. And don't take our answers seriously, just at all. But every Tuesday, we'll have a certified doctor who can
Actual
answer your
doctor.
questions with confidence
Yes.
with us. So, yeah, ask him.
Ask him.
Not us.
But you can also ask us.
But if you direct it towards us,
We'll
we
answer.
will try.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, we will not give a right answer.
No. But anyway.
So, a disclaimer. Minsu and Laura are not medical professionals.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Now you know.
Speak for yourself. How dare you? So 7:42 on the clock. It's Tuesday, the 30th of May. Welcome to Inside Out Busan. It's the second day of the new season. How is it for you, Minsu?
Going pretty okay. I don't know if you could tell, but I've had the sniffles since
no,
yesterday.
have you?
Yeah.
Allergy?
So I don't know what it is. I don't think it's allergies. There's stuff going around, 요즘. I feel like there's stuff going around all the time.
There's always stuff going around.
Right, so everybody careful out there.
Everybody
Wash your hands. I feel like there's so much you could prevent just by washing your hands.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's 100% true. Remember back in the day when a doctor was doing births, delivering babies, and all of these babies were dying, and the mothers were dying, and then one doctor, I can't remember his name, he was like, hey, what if we wash our hands
In between?
In between this? And then they're like, you're crazy. But then they
You're
did
crazy,
it, and all
see?
of these, like, saved all these lives. And then they're like, they got them committed. They got them committed to a mental asylum.
Jeez.
And then they went back to the old ways of not washing their hands. And then they started
They
passing
saw the
away
correlation,
again.
right?
They saw the correlation.
Yeah.
But it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
He was in an asylum.
PSA, wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Well, here on Inside Out Busan, folks, if you do participate in our show in a variety of ways, we could give you a variety of presents.
A variety of presents.
We can. Let's have our Friday edition writer, Steve, fill you in on what those presents are.
안녕하세요. 차가운 도시 남자 Inside Out Busan writer Steve라고 합니다. Winners of Inside Out Busan's listeners participation segment will get full course meal voucher from Golden Lizzie, a gourmet restaurant in Geojedong and Yeonsandong, where you can taste cuisine from Michelin Guide featured Chef Kim. 미슐랭 셰프의 파인 레스토랑 골든 리지에서 10만 원 외식 상품권을 받을 수 있습니다. A place to entertain your brain and eyes, Museum of Illusions. 당신의 눈과 뇌를 즐겁게 하는 곳. Museum of Illusion 부산 착시미술관 입장권. Coffee voucher and a pack of fresh coffee, whole beans, sponsored by Into Roastery in Yangsan. 언제나 맛있는 커피를 신선하게 만드는 양산에 위치한 Into Roastery 원두 커피. 커피 향 좋다. A delicious brunch for two from Gorilla Brewing Busan, Gwangan branch, the leader of Korean handmade beer culture. 수제 맥주 전문점 고릴라 브루잉 부산에서 제공하는 식사권. Admission tickets for the Busan Next to Sky top floor observatory, which is located at LCT in Haeundae, the highest place in Busan. 부산 대표 랜드마크 해운대 LCT에 위치한 하늘 위의 바다. 부산 Next to Sky 전망대 입장권을 선물로 드립니다. 저랑 같이 가실까요?
Welcome back. It's time for the Jazz Hour. We've got a martini bar in the corner, and Minsu's ready with quote unquote.
Cigar in hand,
Yeah.
right? And a cosmopolitan in the other. For today's quote unquote, it's my turn. So, real quick for our listeners, this is the segment towards the end of our show where we take a quote, as the title suggests, of our segment.
Yeah.
And maybe a clip along with it, right? And we'd like to share just our thoughts, our feelings on, what the quote means, how it applies to our lives, maybe apply to your life.
Yeah.
So, as I said, my turn today. My quote comes from the fictional character named Andy Bernard in the hit original British, turned into an American comedy TV show called The Office, played by Ed Helms, by the way. So let's first listen to his little talk, and then we'll get into the actual quote.
The weird thing is, now I'm exactly where I want to be. I got my dream job at Cornell, and I'm still just thinking about my old pals. Only now they're the ones I made here. I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. That's right at the end.
Yes.
Is that the final episode?
That's the final episode of The Office. So the quote I brought for you today was that last bit he said, I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
Oh.
So if you watch The Office, I watch it a little bit. Do you watch it a little bit?
I mean, I've seen a couple episodes.
Yeah, a couple episodes. It's funny, I guess, right? Especially if it's like a show that's 10 seasons long, right? You tend to grow with the characters there. And with Andy Bernard, the character saying this, like it just hits you, right? Because you've grown with these characters on the TV, however long, 1 month, 2 months, like the 10 plus years that you actually watch the show, 본방, on TV. But this line, it got me thinking not only with the characters, like to you, the good old days are gone.
Yeah.
For most of us, the good old days are gone because we never say right now it's the good old days because that kind of takes away from the actual meaning of good old days.
Yeah.
They're good days, but they're also old. That means it's in the past, right? But with this, Andy saying this, can you tell if you are experiencing, like future you can say, yeah, this right now are the good old days?
Okay, so let me tell you, I've so far in my life not had any good old days. So there's not been, those were the good old days.
Okay.
Because my life has been consistently getting better. And I tell you why. My mental health and my physical health have been consistently getting better. So I think the good old days for me are going to come when I am no longer able to enjoy the youth of my children right there in front of me.
So the downfall of Laura, that's when you start referring to the good old days, right?
No, that's absolutely not what I said. But because your daughter's what, 7?
Yes.
And I bet it feels like just yesterday that she was a tiny baby.
Oh, yeah. Like me and my wife, like every other day we go through our pictures.
Yeah.
And then we put them up next to our daughter's face. I was like, what the heck happened to you?
Yeah, how fast is that going? And so one of the things for me is just noticing how quickly time goes past when it comes to my children. My life, I enjoy my life all the time, every day. I love going and doing the work and hanging out with friends and learning things and seeing things. But witnessing the childhood and being a very active part of my children's childhood, that will be for me, I think, when I first look back and say, those are the good old days. Like when my kids still wanted to play with me or still thought that I was the smartest person in the room or still, those were the good old days. And then I think as you get older, there will be a series of eras of your life where you can consider them the good old days.
Okay, yeah. For me, and I probably told you this, as soon as I hit the 4-0, right, this year, I've physically felt my body like breaking down little by little, right?
Yeah.
So like for me, so I was thinking, like if I like my physical health wise, like the good old days would be, like I don't know, like college, where like you would like eat, drink, bless you.
Thank you.
At wee hours in the morning, at weird hours throughout the day,
yeah.
and it doesn't matter. But then now, you have to not only watch what you eat, but when you eat.
Yeah.
Right? So this is me thinking, yeah, those were the good old days where I didn't like, when it comes to like my diet, it didn't matter. Right? And then there's, let's say, of course, I would say I'm happily married, but then like, the good old days, like before we got married, right? When we were just dating, those were the good old days. And then, maybe like me, as soon as we got married, we would see the dating days as good old days. And then like the me now, I would say, remember the good old days when we got married and it was just us?
So I guess it's just a statement of the part of like a phase of your life or an era of your life that you enjoyed that you're no longer in, that you've transcended.
Yeah, right. But with Andy Bernard's quote, right? But with Andy Bernard's quote, I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them. It just got me thinking. There's no actual way to say, okay, this is what I'll be saying 10 years from now.
But there is, though.
That's when.
There is.
How?
You just got to be present and mindful and grateful of what you've got in the moment. Because all we have is the present moment. Not to get too deep, but I'm a hippie and all that. So you got to be in the moment and you got to just enjoy what you have right there in front of you, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know. And we all live as if we're invincible. And we're not. And the very sad fact is that life goes way quicker than we think it goes. So we don't want to be looking back saying, those were the good old days. You want to be looking back and saying those were the good old days, and those are also the good old days, and these are the good now days, and I'm looking forward to the good future days. So you got to be in the moment, enjoying every single part of it, present, and gratitude is so important.
Yeah. If you could relive just like a single moment in your life, like when would it be? Like up to now. Of course, you're gonna have so many more moments that you're gonna want to live, like relive, but like just for funsies. If you had to pick one moment now in your past,
if I could relive one moment, it would be the day or like when I touched down into Korea for the very first time. I don't remember what that felt like.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, me too. I don't know. Like, all I remember is as soon as I got off the plane, I don't know why they had us get off on the runway and walk to the terminal, because the airport, I don't know. Like
they didn't trust you.
Right? But I remember as soon as they opened the door and I stepped outside, I remember my eyes becoming watery. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this emotions coming over me? Like, I just realized I'm going to now start living in Korea. And I realized, oh no, like they were like stingy. Like my eyes, like they were like, and then they told me, welcome to Korea. We got dust in the air. I was like, what? That's like this much, right?
Yeah.
So that's when I realized, the air quality in Korea not so great compared to, let's say, the U.S. That's all I remember. I remember just rubbing my eyes, but I didn't take in like my first taxi drive, like out of the airport towards like my relative's home.
Spaced out and everything's like intense, so you don't really appreciate every single moment. But that's my advice to all of you young ones out there and all of you old ones like us. Enjoy every single moment, even the moments that are uncomfortable. Lean into those, because those are the things that help you get better at the harder moments to come.
Yeah. Completely agree, right? Hey, I'm Parking saying I appreciate these relaxing moments with IOB fam. Yeah,
사랑해.
this is the only part of our show where we're serious and we're actual adults. Right?
Andy and the tuna.
네. 민수님 혹시 중국으로 잘못 가신 거 아니에요? 아니에요, 부산이었어요. 기회였습니다.
My husband got off the plane in Glasgow. He was like, 와, 공기 좋다.
맞아요. 진짜 공기 좋을 것 같아요. 글라스고에. 네.
너무 좋았어.
네. But it's so much good about Korea. But yes, the fine dust
Just
in the air.
depending on the time of the year.
Yeah.
And at the airport.
It was there. It was there. Yeah. Well, that'll do it for today's quote unquote.
Look at the time.
Yeah, and
gotta
already
get out
time
of
to say
here.
bye.
Today's show produced by Kim Yoon, written by Im Soo-jin, hosted by Laura McCluskey.
And also by Min Soo-shin. We'll see you back here tomorrow. We do have a final song.
Yes, Escapade by Utter Hamel. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
We'd be so high together, found heaven in your gaze. Feels as if I'm in a daze. Oh my, we got it made. You and me on an escapade. My days are filled with delight. There'll be no demons in the night. Not if we stay high together. Found heaven in your smile. I've missed you kissing for a while. Glad you came to play and me on an escapade. I want you there to share this feeling that I never know. What if you don't share my feelings? I'd end up where I'd started all alone. I want to keep you safe from harm, dear, and keep imposters far away. I'm glad we got this time with each other. I wish that life could always stay this way. I'd follow you to the moon. So take me with you. Get away in
부산을 한 장의 사진에 담는다면 어디로 가야 할까요? 꼬꼬마 시절 이때만큼은 세상을 내려다보며 꿈을 키웠고 용돈을 모아 산 사진기는 아직도 서랍 속에 있습니다. 시간이 흘러 키는 자라고 사진은 어디서든 찍을 수 있는 세상이 되었지만 부산의 진짜 모습을 보기 위해서는 같이 가볼 곳이 있습니다. 광복동에서 부산을 내려다보며 우리와 함께 해온 그곳. 새롭게 불을 밝힌 다이아몬드 타워와 함께 용두산 공원이 우리를 다시 찾아왔습니다. 북한과 남항, 멀리 남구와 해운대까지 부산을 한눈에 담을 수 있는 그곳. 알록달록 꽃시계와 함께 다시 시민의 품으로 돌아온 용두산 공원은 부산의 또 하나의 명소입니다. 이 캠페인은 대선공익재단과 BFM 부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
저희 중소기업은 광고비가 제일 부담되죠.
코바코에서 TV 라디오 광고비 지원받으세요.
혁신형 중소기업 방송광고 지원 제도로 광고비 70% 할인이나 250% 보너스 광고 지원.
코바코로 문의하세요. 051-751-0400.
Transforming our world. Navigating toward a better future. The great transformation begins right here in Busan through the 2030 Busan World Expo. Busan will set a new course toward a better tomorrow for the Earth and for humanity.